You don't. The trustee's on title, not you. Yep. The trustee does all the signing.
Power of attorney, sign for trustee.
That's right.
He can sign for his trustee because he has power of attorney.
So what happens if your trustee kicks the bucket?
I just, as the beneficiary, I can just go ahead. I have a power of attorney,
Power of attorney,
and I can just
sign a new trustee.
But it expired at his death.
let's say that I
Create a new trust.
new trust. Yeah.
You can appoint a new trustee.
I can do the death of the beneficiary. Well, no, there's provisions in your trust. Yeah, the incompatibility, whatever it is. Yeah, I can then appoint a new one and resign that person. Yeah. So number 10, resignation of successor. No, duties of the trustee. Removal of trustee. The beneficiary shall have the power to remove a trustee from his office to appoint a successor to succeed him.
What number?
Number 9.
And then, so you have the owners as the beneficiaries. Can the successor beneficiaries act without permission from the beneficiaries? That makes sense? So, I mean, like they're at number 9. If you wanted to remove
Go to-
them,
go
they
to-
need to be dead first, or?
No. Number B. Whoever has the interest, controlling interest on Exhibit B, they're the ones that control it. Yep. And the owners at this point, they're already in their mind. They're like, I'm done. This property's done. I'm sold. It's transferred. Because once it gets transferred to the, so you have in there as well. I just showed you the California trustee, but there's also another one that's in your guys' folders. It is the California grant deed of deed to a trust. And you're deeding the property into a trust instead of deeding it to another person. And it's the form that you use for that.
What's the cost of?
And you can find the same thing. It's free. This is free, bro. Yeah. That's right. The notary, yeah.
I've heard people say-
What you're paying for a trust for is the attorney to draft it up, and the attorneys just use the same templates anyway. This is different though than a living trust, because a living trust is recorded down at the courthouse. So it's
Always?
what?
Always?
Yeah. So you'll find it if you need to find a living
Well,
trust.
because there's been quite a few times where we looked for a trust and
Mhm.
we can't find it, but we know that that house is owned by a trust.
No, living trust.
Living trust, yeah.
These
Yeah.
aren't recorded at the courthouse.
No, these land trusts are not recorded. No.
No, I know, but
Yeah.
houses were owned by the trust, but at the county courthouse, they said, well, it just wasn't recorded. They told us that over and over. And we've looked, like, the other day, we looked for 5, and none of them were there.
The trust is a living trust is a matter of probate. So there's a case. You just haven't found the case number.
No, they told us that a
Oh.
lot of times they're just not recorded.
Not recorded.
Yeah.
How do you know they're living trust and not land trust?
What's a living trust?
Uh,
No, that just,
a living trust is basically it's what's called a revocable trust. As long as you're living, it's revocable. It becomes irrevocable after you're
Land trust
deceased.
irrevocable?
And I think it says.
Land trusts are revocable.
They are revocable.
They are revocable. Yes.
so, cause like, so on Property Radar, it said that it was owned by such and such a trust.
Right.
Okay, so we had a whole list, and like, there was probably 10 or 15, and we only found 2. So I was like, I said to the lady, what the heck's going on? I'm like, why aren't they here? She says, because a lot of times they're not recorded. There is a trust, but they're never recorded for privacy reasons.
So then that'd be a land trust.
That'd probably be land trust.
Were you able to
Yeah.
look at the actual paper?
No, it wouldn't be a land trust.
Stuff?
Yes, and it
did-
was owned by the trust.
Okay, but did you see who created that trust? Because when I found the Auburn one, I found the lawyer that created it and did the stuff on there, and that's who I called.
The lawyer? Yeah, I think, I have to ask him, I don't know.
So you have a deed. So you have whoever signed the deed and transferred it over. So you have those names.
I have to ask Rusty, but we
Yeah.
couldn't find any information.
So it could be another guy like Ryan, right? He's making himself invisible. Right?
It could be. Yeah.
Yeah, she said it was for privacy reasons most of the time.
So if I have a trust, if I'm looking for somebody, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to find out, like he said, 2 things: who prepared it, was it an attorney? I'm going to go there. Also, who signed it? I'm following chain of title. The previous owner had to put it. He had to sign it over into the trust. Who's that new trustee?
There was one,
So that's what I'm looking for. Those things.
there was one where the lady, okay, so it was her trust,
Yeah.
okay, she put it in the trust, she was the trustee, she died and there was no one else as the trustee.
Well, your trust always has provisions of who the successor beneficiaries are going to be for the trustee and stuff
She
like
didn't
that.
have any kids. The house that was for sale,
Well, look at Hasbun's. Hasbun's had none of her kids as the trustee.
right?
She had her ex-lover.
Yeah. And then the crazy aunt. Next.
Yeah. Yep.
If he couldn't do it.
I have one right now where we can't find the trust documents,
Yeah.
so we have to do it by the.
See, and that's what happens. You have to have a. So Gary brings up a very valid point. If you don't have the trust documents, or if you don't have the trustee or something showing the chain of title given to the next person and how it's supposed to go, then you have to do what's called a quiet title. Now that is all just screwed up, and you have to go ahead and go through this title action to get this property.
Judicial.
Yeah.
request and have the judge say, yeah, that's right.
Exactly. So
Remember she was
the documents have to be somewhere, and they have to be found, because if not, then what's the point?
So what's your recommendation for protecting the loss of these documents? Do you have a strategy you use?
Yeah, so I have a fireproof safe in my house that I have all my important deeds and trust and stuff like that in. I also have everything digitalized as well
So in the cloud?
in the cloud. Yep.
But those aren't valid, those wouldn't work with the.
Yeah, no, those are fine. Copies are fine.
Copies.
Yeah.
adequate, yeah.
Copies are fine because it's already been notarized and recorded. No, you cannot record a copy,
Yeah,
but you can use copies to validate recordings.
but the trust documents are not recorded.
I don't record the trust. What I record is who the trustee is.
Do you keep the trust documents backed up on cloud?
I do.
Can you just burn the original at that point?
I wouldn't do that. Yeah, you could, but
Especially for the like digital stuff.
So
Yeah.
what you're saying is the trustee has the documents that prove you're the beneficiary. Therefore, you're covered with that.
no, my trustee, when they get everything or anything that comes to me, they'll scan it into an email and send it my way, because I handle everything. Like, I just got a tax bill for a supplemental tax, and they send it to me. They're like, "Oh, this came in the mail today," and so I handled it. I'm like, "Okay, love you, Calaveras County." And but all original stuff,
The only one.
I know, right?
Got one that was
I was like, "Come on, how many of these am I going to get in a year?"
at a $75,000 increase.
Oh gosh, yeah. So that's excessive. So yeah, I get that. They send me my information, and I keep it all in my files.
In other words, if you lose that safe, then
I have a digital copy. I'm okay.
Yeah, you
digital
don't
copies
have
are okay.
to
For those
cloud.
trust documents, digital copies will suffice for the uses that you need.
Yeah.
It's funny, my parents have all our family living trust in the freezer.
I figure it's as fireproof as it gets in the house.
Cryogenics.
Well,
Yeah.
It's insulated, it's, I mean, if you don't have the fireproof safe, they survive fire.
Are they in Ziploc bags? Cause I
Yeah.
Okay.
They're all Ziploc, sealed and everything.
was gonna say like because if not, you're gonna get like
Freezer.
yeah, exactly, frost all on that. Yeah. All right. So the next one is your QWR, qualified written request and power of attorney. So, do we all need a break? It's cool if we do. Take 5? All right, let's take 5, guys.